The sky above Kahndaq is dying. It begins with a whisper, the low hum of gathering storm clouds, a vibration that trembles through the blackened stones of the palace. The air thickens, heavy with ozone and the taste of metal. Above the golden domes and crumbling towers, lightning bleeds through the heavens like veins of molten silver. The people below kneel, eyes wide, as thunder rolls not with sound, but with purpose. On the palace balcony, Black Adam stands unmoving, a dark monolith of defiance. His cloak snaps in the rising wind. The hieroglyphs carved across his throne room flicker with energy, answering his presence. He looks toward the horizon, but there is no horizon anymore. The world is splitting apart. A wound opens in the firmament, jagged and vast. Not a storm, something worse. The clouds spiral inward, collapsing upon a core of blinding light that screams with voices not human. The sky peels open, and beyond it, something stirs, a cold infinity, littered with dying stars and the faint echo of billions praying to something unseen. The lightning around Adam flares to life. It dances across his arms, his chest, the symbol that once made kings tremble. "No mortal storm dares challenge me," he murmurs. His voice rumbles like tectonic stone. "Show yourself." But this is not a mortal storm. Reality bends. The sands lift from the ground as gravity itself forgets its purpose. The pyramids fracture, suspended mid-collapse, their stones orbiting a core of impossible light. Through the rift, he glimpses silhouettes, enormous constructs of iron and prayer, cathedral ships sailing through black space, their hulls engraved with scripture. The stars beyond them burn red, like dying embers of a long-forgotten war. Then the voice comes. Not from above nor below, but through asterisk him, a chorus of infinite tongues, whispering in the rhythm of thunder. "You are summoned, child of lightning. You are summoned to the realm of faith unbroken." Adam's eyes narrow. "No one summons me." The storm explodes. Lightning floods the world, white-hot and endless. The sands are vaporized into glass, the palace shattered into dust. The rift swallows all, a vortex of void energy and time screaming in agony. Adam resists, his power tearing at the fabric of reality itself, but even a god of storms cannot outfly the hunger of the warp. With one last defiant roar, he vanishes into the wound between worlds. Silence. Then the sound of chanting. Low, monastic, unrelenting. Adam opens his eyes. He lies upon marble, cold and black, etched with runes older than civilization. Candles flicker by the hundreds, their flames struggling against a dim golden radiance that seems to emanate from nowhere and everywhere. Vast stained glass windows stretch into infinity, depicting battles between angels of steel and beasts of shadow. He rises, his cloak torn but his body untouched. Where, he growls, "Am I?" A voice answers, harsh and metallic, echoing through the chamber. "You stand before the basilica of the eternal throne." Figures emerge from the gloom, robed priests, faces hidden behind masks of gold. Behind them, towers of incense rise, and servitors crawl along mechanical limbs, chanting prayers through broken speakers. The priests kneel before him. "You came through the storm," one whispers, "a sign from the Emperor, a god reborn." Adam's expression darkens. "I serve no emperor." The air shifts. A ripple of fear moves through the congregation, and then, from the upper balcony, the gleam of power armor. An army of Sisters of Battle steps forward, their armor white and crimson, their bolters raised. The leader, a canoness, lowers her visor. "If you are not of the Emperor," she says, "then you are against him." The silence that follows is thick enough to crush bone. Then thunder. Adam raises his hand. Lightning rips from the heavens, piercing the cathedral roof in a column of blinding fury. The blast hurls the sisters back, melting marble and sanctified gold alike. Choirs of servitors scream static hymns as they burn. Adam descends through the smoke, eyes glowing like twin suns. "You mistake your devotion for strength," he says coldly. "I was forged by gods before your emperor's bones turned to dust." The canoness staggers to her feet, armor blackened, bolter trembling in her grip. "You blaspheme." "I tell truth." He hurls a bolt of lightning. She raises her Rosarius, a field of shimmering light forming just in time. The force throws her across the altar, but she lives. For the first time in millennia, Adam pauses. Her faith holds. The lightning dies around his fingertips. He looks toward the shattered, stained glass. Beyond it, a world of Gothic towers stretching into the stars. Ships the size of continents drift through the void, each one whispering hymns into the dark. He feels it, a presence beyond all reason, a will that permeates the galaxy, silent but omnipotent. Every prayer, every scream, every death is its language. He clenches his fists. What power rules this place, that even mortals burn their lives to worship it? The Canoness, bleeding but unbroken, spits blood and answers through gritted teeth. The Emperor, the one true God of mankind. For the first time in his endless existence, Black Adam does not speak. His lightning dims. His reflection wavers upon the molten marble beneath his feet, a god staring into a world that already has won. The cathedral bells toll. In the distance, the storm continues to rage, not his, but the galaxy's own. And far above, in orbit, a new message transmits through the Vox networks of the Imperium. Asterisk, unidentified warp, anomaly, unknown entity descending upon holy terror, heretic power detected. The hunt begins. Dawn never comes to terror. Only the faint glow of fire and devotion, the two lights that keep this dying world alive. The smoke of incense and gunfire mingle in the air above the Basilica of the Eternal Throne. Statues of saints stand cracked and scorched, their marble faces split by lightning and bolt of fire. The once golden altar now lies in ruin, and at its heart stands Black Adam, motionless, surrounded by the dead. His eyes burn like dying suns. Around him, the bodies of the faithful lie scattered, sisters of battle, priests, even the servitors who dared sing hymns of resistance. Their armor still steams from the storm he unleashed, yet amid the ruin, a single voice continues to pray. The Canoness. Kneeling amid the ash, she clutches her Rosarius to her chest, whispering words to a god who never answers. Blood runs down her chin, yet her gaze, fierce, unwavering, meets the eyes of the stranger who brought her world to its knees. Your power, she breathes, is a mockery of his light. Adam tilts his head. Your light bends beneath my hand. She smiles through the pain. Then you have learned nothing of the Emperor. Her voice cuts through the silence like a blade. Around them, the air trembles not from the storm, but from belief. The surviving sisters rise, their armor cracked, their banners torn, but their chants grow louder. The Emperor protects. Adam frowns. For the first time in ages, he does not hear fear in the voice of his enemies, only devotion. It unnerves him. You kneel before a corpse, he says, his tone a thunderous accusation. A dead god who feeds on your faith like carrion. The Canoness rises, her armor glowing faintly in the candlelight. Then you do not understand faith at all. She lifts her bolter. Adam's lightning answers faster than thought. The weapon explodes in her hands, shards of sanctified metal scattering like dust. She falls backward, dazed but alive. Faith, Adam says, stepping closer, is obedience without reason, worship without freedom. Faith, she whispers, is strength when reason fails. The wind howls through the shattered cathedral. The two stare across the ruins, avatars of two universes colliding, the ancient god-king of Kahndaq and the burning faith of the Imperium of Man. Then the heavens themselves roar. A sound like the splitting of worlds fills the air as drop pods tear through the smog above. The ground shakes as they crash into the plaza outside the cathedral. Servitors ring alarm chimes, too late. From the fire and smoke emerge the Adeptus Astartes, space marines of the Imperial Fists, their armor gold as the dawn that never rises. Each step they take rattles the marble beneath them. Bolters hum, chainswords purr like hungry beasts. Their sergeant raises his power fist. Heretic detected, he declares. In the name of the Emperor you will be purged. Adam turns toward them, cloak flaring in the wind. You think yourselves gods in armor. No, the sergeant answers calmly, we are his hands. The air explodes. Bolter shells shriek through the nave, holy rounds designed to pierce demons, psychers, and traitors alike. They strike Adam's chest, each detonation carving through the walls in waves of light and shrapnel. Dust and flame engulf the cathedral. When the smoke clears, Adam stands unscathed. He looks down at the smoking craters across his armorless chest, then back at the space marines. His eyes flicker, and lightning answers his fury. He raises one hand, and the entire cathedral becomes light. Bolts the size of lances tear through ceramite and steel. The first Astartes falls, his armor glowing molten red before shattering like glass. The second's helmet implodes from sheer voltage. Their war cries turn to static as the god of storms walks through their ranks, thunder in his wake. Your emperor cannot protect you, Adam thunders. You call me heretic, yet I stand before you alive while your gods rot upon their thrones. He crushes a space marine beneath his heel and hurls another through a stained glass window. The storm swallows the city outside, lightning crawling across the Gothic spires like serpents made of light. From above, Imperial gunships open fire. Las beams and plasma bolts descend in furious streams, scorching the plaza. Yet none reach him. The lightning around Adam forms a shield, a whirling dome of divine energy that bends the universe itself to his will. Then, amid the fury, a new light pierces the clouds. Golden, pure, silent. A saint descends. Her wings of radiant flame stretch across the heavens, her armor forged from the dreams of martyrs. Her eyes glow with the power of faith made manifest, a living conduit of the Emperor's grace. The storm bends around her. Adam watches her descend through the smoke, her halo gleaming against the ash-filled sky. You bring war to holy ground, she says softly. Her voice carries through the air like the memory of dawn. Do you not see what this world suffers for its faith? I see only chains, Adam growls. Then you are blind. The saint spreads her arms, and the prayers of billions whisper through her, a choir from every world of the Imperium. She shines brighter, her light erasing shadow. Adam's lightning clashes with her radiance, black and gold, colliding in a storm that splits the clouds above Terra. The air screams, cathedrals crumble, Astartes and sisters alike fall to their knees as godlight consumes the world. And through the blinding fury, for one heartbeat, Adam sees her face, not rage, not judgment, but sorrow. Even gods, she whispers, can be lost. The explosion that follows can be seen from orbit. When the light fades, the basilica is gone. A crater smokes in its place, and at its center, Adam kneels amid the ashes. The saint is nowhere to be seen. He stares at his trembling hands. The lightning flickers, uncertain, fading. For the first time since he uttered the word Shazam, he feels doubt. He looks to the burning sky, where the ships of the Imperium still circle like vultures. Their faith cannot be broken, only burned, and even then, it is reborn from the ashes. Adam lowers his head. In this universe, he murmurs, power means nothing if faith refuses to die. The storm quiets, leaving only silence and the echo of her words. Darkness. Heavy, cold, endless. The silence is broken only by the hum of machinery, deep, mechanical, almost sentient. Iron locks hiss open and close again in the void. Chains rattle. The smell of sanctified oil and blood lingers in the air like a curse. Black Adam opens his eyes. He is bound, cruciform, suspended in a cage of light. The energy that holds him crackles with psychic force, a prison designed not for mortals, but for gods. He struggles, muscles flexing, lightning flashing across his skin, but each surge dies instantly, swallowed by the null field that engulfs him. For the first time in centuries, he cannot summon his storm. Figures move beyond the veil, shadows in long coats, bearing augmetic limbs and symbols of the Inquisition. Servo-skulls float between them, their eyes glowing crimson, their tiny vox speakers whispering binary prayers. Subject shows stable containment, one voice says. It's cold, detached, clinical. Begins psychic interrogation. A beam of light sears through the darkness, illuminating a figure in scarlet robes, a Lord Inquisitor. His face is pale, carved with scars, his eyes replaced with bionic lenses that click as they focus. He steps closer, studying the captive god as though he were a specimen. You defied the ecclesiarchy, you slaughtered the emperor's chosen, you claimed divinity. Adam's voice is thunder, even now. I am no claimant, I am divinity. The Inquisitor's lips twist into something between amusement and pity. A small god, then, we've broken greater. He gestures, and a psyker approaches, her eyes glowing violet, her mind radiating psychic pressure like the pulse of the warp. The moment her thoughts brush Adam's, the chamber shudders. Energy arcs between the two. A storm contained within a cell. Visions tear through Adam's mind, not his memories, but theirs. He sees a galaxy drowning in faith, a million worlds, each one screaming the Emperor's name, armies of billions marching to die in his service, titans walking like mountains, planets burned in the name of purity. And at the center, the golden throne. A corpse that will not die, a god who cannot speak. 10,000 souls a day sacrificed just to keep him breathing. Adam gasps, not from pain, but from revelation. The Emperor's empire is built on devotion, yes, but also on slavery. Humanity bound in endless worship, not by chains of iron, but by fear. Your god is a prison, he says, teeth bared. The Inquisitor's tone sharpens, blasphemy. Truth, Adam spits, you have forgotten freedom, forgotten choice. The psyker's power flares, a wave of psychic agony floods through him. Images flash faster than thought, burning stars, demonic worlds, the eye of terror opening like a wound across the cosmos. He sees chaos, the true gods of this galaxy, the four that whisper in the dark. And through the storm of visions, he hears them. We know you, son of thunder. Tyrant of mortals, breaker of kings. Your wrath would make fine worship. Adam roars, shattering the psychic connection. The lights flicker, alarms wail. The psyker collapses, blood leaking from her eyes. The Inquisitor snarls and signals the guards. Skitare's soldiers in black armor rush forward, weapons drawn. Bolts of plasma sear the air, but Adam no longer resists. He feels the warp pressing against his prison, whispering temptations in tongues older than stars. Serve us, and you will never kneel again. The energy field trembles as lightning begins to stir once more in his veins. His voice grows low, defiant. You dare offer me chains again? The chamber explodes in white light. When the glare fades, the guards lie scattered, some burned to ash, others hurled against the walls. The null field still flickers, barely containing him. The Inquisitor stands, face half-burned, robes smoldering, but his voice remains steady. The light never truly goes out in his cell. It hums, a sterile, sickly glow, bleeding from the psychic wards carved into the adamantium walls. The air vibrates with restrained energy, thick with incense, and the faint, metallic tang of sanctified oils. Black Adam sits motionless at the center of the null field. Chains of psychic energy coil around his arms and chest, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. He no longer struggles. The storm within him is quiet for now. Outside, beyond 1,000 meters of sanctified steel, the Inquisitor's ship drifts through the void, the Crusader's penance. A city of iron and prayer, its decks echo with hymns of the Omnissiah and the Emperor. Yet, deep in the warp, the ship trembles. Something is watching. It begins as a whisper. Soft, almost tender. A voice slithers through the static hum of the psychic barriers, brushing against his thoughts like silk. It speaks in no language, yet Adam understands it perfectly. You do not belong here. He opens his eyes, lightning flickers faintly across his skin. They chain you because they fear you, the voice continues, smooth and intimate, as they fear all power they do not control. Adam's jaw tightens. Another jailer's trick, he mutters. You will find I am not so easily deceived. A chuckle echoes, low, shifting, like laughter made of whispers. No trick, son of Kahndaq. You are far from home, but not alone. I have watched you rage against tyrants, watched you defy gods. You are a storm that refuses to serve. The air chills, his pulse quickens. He recognizes that tone, the language of temptation, the same voice that whispered to pharaohs, to conquerors, to men who thought themselves immortal. Name yourself, he demands. The silence stretches, and then the shadows ripple. Symbols bloom across the walls, alive with color that should not exist, blue, purple, and gold, flowing like molten glass. When the voice returns, it is everywhere. I am Tzeentch, the architect of fate, the changer of ways, the one who knows all that will be. The chamber bends, the very air seems to melt, chains twist into serpents, the floor becomes a sea of mirrors reflecting infinite versions of himself, proud, fallen, divine, broken. Adam's eyes flare, a god of lies. Tzeentch laughs again, a god of possibility. He shows him visions of empires reborn beneath Adam's rule, of humanity kneeling willingly, not out of fear, but awe. Of the Imperium burning, its faith collapsing, its emperor dethroned. You could rule them, the voice whispers. You could free them from their false light. I will give you the knowledge, the means, to reshape their destiny. Adam closes his eyes. He sees Kahndaq, his people, long dead, his empire turned to dust, the world he swore to protect consumed by time. And beneath that grief, the seed of temptation stirs. Knowledge, he murmurs, or chains by another name. The laughter fades. For a moment, the warp goes still, and then another voice cuts through the dark. Cold, radiant, infinite. Do not listen. The chains tremble. The light around him burns pure white. For a heartbeat, he hears the sound of millions praying, an ocean of human voices calling one name in unison. The Emperor. Adam's eyes widen. You. You are not of this galaxy, the voice says, not in sound but in will. Yet you stand at its crossroads. Do not give yourself to the warp. There is no freedom there, only hunger. He grits his teeth, torn between the storm of chaos and the cold gravity of that divine presence. You call yourself God, Adam growls, yet you hide upon your throne of corpses. I am no god, the Emperor's voice answers, distant yet unyielding. I am the shield between man and extinction. Tzeentch's laughter returns, sharper now, like shattered glass. A shield, a husk, a corpse kept breathing by the suffering of trillions. He cannot protect them, he cannot protect you. The cell cracks, the walls split like ice beneath thunder, the psychic field flickers, sparks leap from the floor. Adam's thoughts are torn between two infinities, one of fire and one of light. He roars, the sound shaking the very structure of the ship. Enough. Lightning erupts from his body, devouring the chains, annihilating the null field. The chamber disintegrates in a flood of blue-white energy. Through the smoke and fire, he rises, eyes burning, body wreathed in stormlight. The Inquisitor and his guards burst in, weapons drawn, only to be hurled back by the sheer force of his awakening. Adam steps forward, surrounded by a halo of living electricity. I have heard your gods, he says, his voice now calm, cold, absolute, both of them. He spreads his arms. Lightning and warp fire swirl together, warring in the air above his palms. The ship trembles, alarms screaming, the warp outside raging like a living sea. But I will serve neither. He closes his fists. The storm collapses inward, shattering the psychic sigils carved into the ship's hull. The warp breaches, reality screams. From the void outside, Tzeentch's voice lingers one last time, soft, amused, lingering like smoke. You cannot defy eternity, mortal god. The warp remembers all who reject it. Then silence. The Crusader's penance drifts through the void, torn open, its crew lost to madness and light. Amid the wreckage, one figure flies free, wreathed in stormfire, hurtling toward the nearest world like a falling star. Black Adam lands upon a scorched battlefield, smoke rising around him. His fists glow. His eyes are filled not with rage, but clarity. No gods, no thrones, no masters. He looks up to see the banners of the Imperium and Chaos both, locked in endless war across a burning horizon. And he smiles, a quiet, dangerous smile. The world below him burns. Adam descends through a sky of fire, clouds black as iron, lit by the strobe of orbital bombardments. Beneath him sprawls a battlefield that defies comprehension, a continent shattered by millennia of war. Titans stride like walking mountains. Space Marines and Chaos Legions clash in rivers of flame and blood. The air trembles with the roar of plasma cannons and the screams of the dying. He lands in silence. The impact creates a crater, hurling corpses and wreckage in all directions. For a moment, the storm pauses, uncertain of this new power now walking among them. Black Adam rises. The sand at his feet turns to glass. His eyes blaze with living electricity. "So this," he murmurs, "is your truth, Imperium, your paradise of pain." Before him, two armies halt mid-slaughter, their warriors turning toward the intruder who fell from the heavens. On one side, the Adeptus Astartes, shining gold beneath banners of the Aquila. On the other, Chaos Marines, twisted in flesh and armor, bearing the eight-pointed star. Neither understands him, yet both sense what he is. A god without chains. The first to break the silence are the Chaos Marines. From their ranks strides a giant clad in crimson armor, his voice a guttural growl through his vox grill. "You do not kneel, stranger, I can smell the pride on you." He raises his demon blade, a weapon alive, writhing, whispering, "Then kneel before me, and I may let you live." Adam's eyes flash, "I kneel to none." The world erupts. Lightning and demon fire collide as Adam meets the Chaos Champion in Medea. The shockwave flattens everything for miles. The sky itself screams as their blows split the clouds. Each strike of Adam's fists shatters the ground. Each swing of the demon blade rips open reality, spewing warp flame. Around them, both armies retreat, watching two living forces of nature destroy the earth beneath them. The champion laughs until Adam catches his blade barehanded, crushing it like glass. "Your gods speak through you," Adam growls, "but I have silenced gods before." He drives his fist through the Chaos Marine's chest, vaporizing him in a single blinding strike. The remnants of his foe scatter as ash. The Imperium's forces open fire next. Bolters roar, lascannons flare. Adam turns toward them, electricity forming a halo around his body. The air becomes white-hot as bolts of energy ricochet harmlessly from his skin. "Cease fire," a voice commands through the vox. From the smoke emerges a captain of the Adeptus Astartes, armor gold and black, his helm carved with wings. "Identify yourself, entity. You walk the Emperor's battlefield." Adam answers with silence. He looks upon these warriors, unflinching, unfeeling, their faith forged from duty, and feels something he hasn't felt in eons: pity. "Your Emperor's war has no end," he says. "You kill for a corpse who cannot hear you." The captain raises his sword, its power field humming. "And yet, in his name, we stand eternal." Adam shakes his head. "Then you stand for nothing." He steps forward. Lightning blooms across the field, a tidal wave of energy that swallows tanks, walkers, and men alike. The ground cracks open, revealing the molten earth beneath. The storm he commands is no longer of this world. It is born of two realities, the lightning of Shazam and the fire of the warp, fused into one divine wrath. He rises above the chaos, arms outstretched. "Look upon me," he roars, "and see what your gods fear." The heavens answer. The sky splits open, not with warp rifts, but with thunder, real thunder, pure, cleansing, untainted. For a heartbeat, the battlefield knows silence. Then a new presence descends. The storm clouds part. From the heavens, a light falls, golden, absolute, too perfect to gaze upon. The wind dies. The warpfire falters. The warriors of both sides drop to their knees. Even Adam feels his breath still. For descending through the burning sky is a figure both radiant and terrible, a presence that bends time and space, that commands the will of stars. His armor glows like the birth of suns. His face, unseen, radiates sorrow deeper than eternity. The Emperor of mankind has come. He does not walk, he is. His arrival rewrites reality, every molecule trembling in worship. The Chaos Legions scream and turn to ash. The Imperials weep, overcome by holiness. And Black Adam, a god forged by mortal word, feels the weight of something he has never known, true divinity. You, Adam breathes, you are the one they worship. The Emperor's voice does not echo, it simply is. You are not the first god I have slain. The words strike like lightning. For a moment, Adam sees it, not through eyes, but through will, the Emperor's endless war across the ages, the burning of false idols, the silence of chaos gods that once thought themselves eternal. Adam's power surges in answer, the ground quakes. Then you will find, he growls, that I am not so easily unmade. Lightning clashes with the Emperor's radiance. Storm and light devour the sky. Titans crumble, the very planet splitting beneath their might. The Emperor raises a hand, and the storm freezes Medea, frozen lightning hanging like crystal shards around them. You are strong, he says, his voice filled not with anger but sorrow. But strength without purpose is emptiness. Adam snarls, purpose, my purpose is freedom. Freedom without sacrifice is chaos. The light grows blinding. Adam strains, every atom in his body burning against the Emperor's will. The air around them turns molten. Space itself begins to fracture, torn by their power. For the briefest instant, Adam sees into the Emperor's mind. An eternity of duty, endless pain, the weight of protecting a species that destroys itself faster than he can save it. He falters. The Emperor steps closer, his golden aura flickering. You are not my enemy, Black Adam, but your pride will damn you as it has damned us all. Then everything stops. The battlefield falls silent, the storm dies. Only two figures remain, one of lightning, one of light, locked in stillness at the edge of a broken world. Somewhere far above, aboard a watching ship, an astropath weeps as she records what she sees through her psychic link. The god of storms has met the god of man, the skis are breaking, one must fall. And in that final instant, before the storm collapses inward, the galaxy itself seems to hold its breath. The storm is gone. Silence reigns where once the heavens screamed. The battlefield lies in ruin, oceans boiled away, continents split open, mountains turn to vapor. Only the echoes of gods remain. From the void above, a fragment of lightning still flickers, dim and trembling. It falls through the red clouds like a dying star. It lands upon scorched earth, and from that black crater rises Black Adam. He staggers, the light that once crowned him has dimmed, cracks crawl across his skin, glowing faintly with the remnants of divine power. Each breath sounds like thunder trapped in a cage. He is gone, Adam whispers to the wind. The Emperor, the light, all of it. But he knows it's not true. He can feel the presence, deep beneath the surface, in the molten heart of the world. The Emperor is not dead, he is waiting. And so, through the ruins of a dead battlefield, Black Adam walks. The world is unrecognizable. The banners of the Imperium burn. The sigils of chaos lie shattered. The sky, torn open by their clash, now shows only a single sun, bleeding red, flickering as though it mourns. Adam crosses a plain of ash where once 1,000,000 men had fought. He hears their ghosts whispering. Names, prayers, curses, all blending into the endless hum of the dead. Then he sees it, a throne half buried in molten rock, not of gold, but of blackened stone, veined with light. Upon it rests a figure, colossal, radiant, broken. The Emperor of mankind. His armor is cracked, his light dim, but his presence remains infinite. He sits as if the universe itself anchors to him, around him. The ground bends, time bends, reality kneels. Adam approaches. You live. The Emperor's voice, soft yet cosmic, fills the silence. Life is a burden I have carried longer than you can imagine. Adam's fists tighten. You call yourself Emperor, yet your empire burns, your people worship dust. They worship hope, the Emperor replies, even when hope is cruel. Adam's eyes flicker with lightning. And what of freedom? What of those who refuse to kneel to gods or kings? Freedom, the Emperor's head tilts faintly. You seek it as if it were peace. But you know, as I do, freedom without purpose is ruin. You call yourself God, but you are still a man mourning your chains. The words strike deeper than any blade. For a heartbeat, Adam sees his past, his throne in Kahndaq, his people's cheers turning to screams, his rage carved into legend. Power had freed him from slavery, but never from sorrow. He turns away. I am no slave. The Emperor's light flares. Then, why do you fight the universe itself to prove it? A tremor passes through the ground. The sky ripples like water. The air smells of ozone and fire, the warp, hungering. Their duel had torn open the veil between realities. Demons begin to bleed through the fractures, shadows of teeth and flame, drawn by the scent of two gods. Adam steps forward, thunder burning in his veins again. Then perhaps words are wasted. The Emperor rises, his ruined armor gleams faintly gold once more, perhaps. Together they turn, not as enemies, but as twin storms standing against the night. The rift opens fully, a wound in existence. From it crawl the legions of the warp, horrors without shape or name, screaming praises to gods older than time. Adam raises his hand. Lightning arcs from his palm, vaporizing the first wave. The Emperor extends his will, and reality itself hardens, sealing the breach with light. For the first time, they fight together. Electricity and divine radiance weave through the smoke. Demons disintegrate by the thousand. The ground itself burns with the mark of their combined wrath. For a fleeting moment, the world feels whole again, two gods bound not by faith or pride, but by purpose. But it cannot last. Each strike drains them. The warp feeds on their power, growing hungrier, stronger. The rift pulses like a heartbeat. The Emperor looks at Adam, weary, solemn. This world will not survive us both. Adam's eyes narrow. Then I will leave it. You cannot. You are bound to this reality now. You have tasted its curse. Adam stares at the rift. Through it he sees glimpses, the universe beyond, the void, the stars, his own world, distant and fading like a dream. Then I will take the curse with me. Before the Emperor can stop him, Adam rises into the storm. Lightning surrounds him, brighter than the sun, each bolt tearing at the fabric of the warp. If freedom must burn, he says, then let it burn with me. He dives into the rift. The light consumes him. For one endless instant, his scream and the roar of thunder become one. Then, silence. The rift collapses, sealing shut in a blinding flash. The battlefield is still. Only the Emperor remains. He stands alone in the ruin, the last echoes of thunder fading into dust. The sky clears, the air cools. Above, the sun flickers weakly, reborn. The Emperor turns his gaze upward, as if peering beyond the stars. Even gods can be redeemed, he murmurs, but never without loss. And far across the void, beyond the edge of the galaxy, beyond time itself, a single thunderclap echoes. In that distant sound, the galaxy remembers the name of the god who would not kneel. Black Adam. His lightning now drifts between worlds, a legend whispered by psychers and saints alike. A storm that fell into the Imperium and chose silence over tyranny. And somewhere in the eternal black between galaxies, a voice whispers, quiet, defiant, eternal. I am still free.